What's good, YouTube? It's your boy. We're going to be reacting to this Patric CC. The world is dying, not hip-hop. Or hip-hop's not dying, the world is. Which I never really thought hip-hop was dying. But let's just see what Patric CC got to say about it.
That made me. Have you heard anyone say recently, video games are not as good as they used to be? Movies are not as good as they used to be. Cars, the NBA, the NFL, music is not as good as it used to be. No.
It's because I feel like, this is how I put it. Music is not as good, or games, because it's not as good. It's that it's either not attracting to us anymore because we're growing up, or it's trying to attract to a different audience.
Oh, you're not crazy. There's a lot of truth to these statements. Now, hip-hop is not dying, but you have to be totally narrow-minded to think that it's as dominant as it used to be. And most of you know me as the hip-hop guy, and don't worry, I'm not about to just shit all over this genre that made me. I still love it, and I ain't going anywhere, so get that out of your head. But most people who've been discussing this topic exhaust these same old arguments. The beats are repetitive, the lyrics have no meaning. They only rap about murder, girls, drugs, and money. There are too many clones. They're just trying to go viral and not create art. They're clout chasing, violence, blah blah blah.
Okay, so I know we 45 seconds in, but it's true though. Like, a lot of music now is literally just, yeah, I just really get hot. Yeah, the beat drop. And she knows him when I got. Yeah, she just like my. That's all I'm saying.
Those are some good points, and they ain't wrong. But
see,
the problem is so much deeper than that. The truth is, our world, our species, human civilization is advancing into something far more complex than what we used to be. And I know I'm coming off extremely pretentious and annoying and trying to be too smart. Just let me cook for a second, because I really think I got something here. Now, I'll start by saying something positive about hip-hop. There have never been as many artists making high-quality hip-hop records as there is right now. Let me rephrase that. Hip-hop is still really fucking good. But most people are just too busy or lazy to go and look for it. And listen, I'm included in that. If you want the good stuff, you gotta dig for it. But most of you won't. Which brings me to my first point. You are being overexposed to media, which leads you to being paralyzed by choice and therefore never feeling fulfilled. 100,000 songs are being uploaded to Spotify every day. 3.7 million YouTube videos are uploaded every day. There are dozens of high-quality movie streaming services uploading millions of hours of content every day. And having too many options has been proven to be a bad thing. In 2000, psychologists from Columbia and Stanford University published a study about jams. On a regular day at a local food market, people would find a display table with 24 different kinds of jams. Then on another day, at that same food market, people were given only 6 different types of jam choices. The store sold more jars of jam when they only offered 6 different choices. Well, it's easy to feel confident and fulfilled that you chose the right jam when there's only 6 jars. But when there's 24, you start to feel overwhelmed. You start to wonder why there are so many in the first place, and you realize it's just less stressful to not choose any. You shouldn't feel bad that you can't choose what is the best music or content to consume out of the millions of options. It's much easier to just listen to an album or song that you already know is good, one you've been listening to for years, rather than to dive into the haystack trying to find the needle that could be your new favorite song. And that's what most people are doing. In 2021, 70% of the USA market was listening to old music over new music. But let's say you wanted to navigate the millions of songs uploaded every month. This is what that arduous process would look like. First, you'd have to stay up to date with hundreds of artists and when they are dropping, which means you'd have to follow some sort of social media page that promotes new music.
Rap. I like rap, because they let you know everything, but also they can also be wrong about some things, so you gotta just go off. That's news always, though. So.
But those pages generally only post what's considered popular, since they need likes and engagement on their posts so they can grow and sell promotion to labels and smaller artists. I'm not hating, life is expensive and I understand people gotta make money. I mean, this exact problem has destroyed countless music YouTubers. There used to be dozens of channels harvesting a community of music fans.
I'm Dante!
Left because If you use 3 seconds of a song in a video, you get copyright claimed and they take your money. How are
bro.
you supposed to make videos about music if you can't play the music? And if you can't make money off the video, it's too expensive and time consuming to put the care necessary to build a following.
Every Ox Battle video I've uploaded since April has been demonetized.
Damn.
So I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of destroyed the series. Which is why it's important for me to thank today's sponsor, Aura, for helping support the champion. Aura has many other management. Let these days see to start tastemakers, then they have to file. Link is also in the description. Thanks, Aura.
So if fans can't rely on tastemakers, then they have to follow the artist directly. But whenever an artist posts on their social media, new song dropped or out now, the algorithm actively hides the post because Instagram and TikTok do not want them posting anything that is going to take the user off their app and onto another. So even the artists that you follow and want to be notified when they drop won't show up on your feed. The only way an artist can get around this is paying for exposure through ads. Therefore, the artists with the most money, whether that be independent or signed to a major label, are the ones that end up on your feed. We all know that money doesn't buy talent, and 99.9% of the time, the talented artists don't have the money to rise to the top of the algorithm. So then the artists become desperate. And can you really blame them? They begin performing gimmicks and antics on TikTok to get a crumb of organic exposure, like making some stupid song that only people like as a soundbite in the background of other TikToks. And when the artist gets rewarded for this strategy, they do one of two things. They get resentful that people liked this stupid thing that they created for attention, and then they go back to making the actual music that they wanted to create, only for that music to fall on deaf ears because the listeners were never really fans of them. Or they continue to make gimmicks hoping to go viral again, leading to
perfect example, which Steve Lacy was popular before all that, but explains that Steve Lacy, everybody only knew the by my choice a bad habit. That's the only thing people knew. They didn't know everything else about Steve Lacy.
To the repetitive cycle of nonsense that nobody actually likes. So then why are record labels signing these gimmicks knowing that they don't really have that much to offer? Won't a label make more money off the next Tyler the Creator, J. Cole, or Kendrick Lamar? Well, yes, but that's way too risky. For around 100 years, an artist had like one way to make a music career possible. They would record a demo, perform shows in the closest city to their home, and hopefully gain a reputation for being a promising talent. Maybe they would get the attention of a radio or club DJ and get their music broadcasted to a larger but still generally localized market. Then music labels hired A&Rs to scout talent like a football coach, going city to city visiting small clubs, bars, and listening to local radio stations to see who has potential for a record deal. If the artist was lucky enough to get a record deal, they would have a team dedicated to helping develop the artist, fine-tune their music, image, and creative direction, then push their music out to a national market and see what cities take a liking to their new talent. And as you can imagine, this was a massive time and financial investment, and record labels would continuously try and market these artists even if the fans weren't immediately impressed. Why? Because they believed in their talent and spent so much effort to discover and develop them.
That's why I feel like right now we have a lot of industry plants in the music industry. Like, I'm not taking from Sexy Red, but dang, no way she ain't no industry plant. I'm gonna be honest. Ain't no way.
Labels would also scout and sign a wide variety of different talents because if one artist didn't work, well, it didn't make sense to push the exact same sound. These A&Rs were trained professionals. They were humans, using their human experience to invest and promote what they think other humans would like. And it worked like that, almost flawlessly, for like 80 years. Okay, flawlessly might be a little bit of a stretch. The old way made it basically impossible for a new artist or an upcoming artist to break through. Like, we were way too reliant on record labels. There were probably so many great artists that never got discovered because an A&R for a music label just never happened to be where they were when they were performing in some bar or bowling alley. For the average person, the only music that existed was stuff that was on the radio or in movies or on MTV or just what their friends liked. But that's also what made the music so iconic, is because like everybody knew the same stuff. Then the internet came, which was great for a little bit, until it wasn't. The internet created the opportunity for any artist to get their music out to the world. So individually, for artists, it was so much better, but it destroyed music communities. Music that once unified us is now dividing us. Before everyone had smartphones, the internet was a fringe hobby that introverted people and children used. Chameleonaire, Soulja Boy, and the entire SoundCloud rap era used the internet to create a wave so dominant that it changed the music industry. From 2012 to roughly 2018, SoundCloud was a place for innovative, interesting, and counterculture rap music. Being a SoundCloud rapper was perceived as someone who had a failing music career, which made the community stronger and more cult-like, rooting for these rappers to win. But then the internet rapper became a normalized, formulaic career path that labels figured out how to dominate, and the community aspect around internet rap disappeared. The algorithm made the process of discovering talent less about taste and more about objective data. A&Rs are now just data analysts who look for boosts in streaming data. Record labels don't care how the music sounds, they just care if people are listening. But as we explained before, people are not necessarily listening to music for the same reasons that they used to. And sometimes the algorithm or streaming data is just wrong. It just doesn't mean that the song is good or that the artist is objectively talented. It could be random. It could mean nothing. Think
Ice Spice.
YouTube algorithm.
I don't care what y'all say. Y'all could be in my comments. Ice Spice is a bad artist, but since she gets views, gets revenue, she's gonna keep on making music and keep on making money from it at the end of the day.
You watch one video about dogs. All of a sudden, you see another one recommended to you. You click that. Now 3 are recommended. You go down one YouTube wormhole and your whole feed is transformed into only dog content. Music algorithms operate similarly. Let's say you listen to a couple Pop Smoke songs on Spotify. You start getting recommended similar artists who are using the same style beats and sounds. Before you know it, your Discover Weekly is flooded with every Brooklyn drill and UK drill rapper in existence. You were in a drill mood for a couple of days and now Spotify made it your entire listening experience. Then the upcoming artists are incentivized to copy someone else's sound because the only way they'll make it into the algorithm is if they can be categorized alongside another bigger artist. So you have to manually trick the algorithm and listen to a bunch of different stuff on purpose to get recommended a decent variety, or not rely on the algorithm at all. But it's hard not to rely on them when they're extremely convenient. And this is a little bit of a tangent, but it's crazy. The other night I was driving and I was going to pick up some food for dinner, and there's a car coming at me and their headlights just totally blinded me. I didn't say anything, I didn't make a noise, I didn't text anyone, I didn't call anyone, but I did think to myself, like, dang, their lights are so bright. And I started thinking about, okay, is this legal, or like, can they get in trouble, or why are they so bright? Just all these questions about these bright
what the freak are you talking about, bro?
I pick up the food, I get home, I pop on YouTube, and what do I see? A video titled, "Blinding Headlights Are a Growing Problem on US Roads." And no, this was not a new video. It's 6 months old. And no, I don't watch content about cars or about headlights or social problems. And yeah, I watched the video. And I'm honestly glad it was recommended to me because I really wanted to know. Like, aside from this being kind of scary and creepy, like how is the algorithm inside my head, it's incredibly convenient. The convenience of being recommended content, or in this case music, is slowly destroying our autonomy. You have to actively go out of your way and make small choices, such as like what music you want to listen to defeat the algorithm. Which is why editorial playlists that are created by humans should be a saving grace. Keyword. Should be. A human analyzes the streaming data, then listens to confirm if it's a good song or a unique song, then adds it to a playlist for people to listen to and enjoy. But unfortunately, Spotify playlists are corrupt. Shocker. They are doing the exact same thing they've been doing to radio forever. Payola. Whoever pays the most money to the tastemakers, aka the radio DJs and playlist curators, makes it to the top. Upcoming artists realize social media is not a fair market, and they get desperate for exposure by sacrificing their art. And the fans who are too busy to become full-time A&Rs get screwed because they think that what is being recommended to them, or what's on the radio, or what's on Rap Caviar is all that music has to offer right now. But the truth is, right now there are so many objectively great artists making great music, like probably more than ever. Just take the YouTube channel Colors as one example. Every few days they upload a video of a talented artist who likely has a full catalog of great music you can go and enjoy. So why do you feel deprived of great music when it's obviously not that hard to find? Well, that's because it's not necessarily the music that you're craving. It's community. It's a sense of belonging. You have been lied to. You have been told that you should be more ambitious. You should be a boss, a hard-working Sigma grindset demon chasing a life filled with experiences, material things, and forget all that having a family, simple life nonsense. Right. Young people feel this pressure. We feel like no matter what we're doing in life, it's not as good or as fulfilling as what it could be. I mean, just open any social media app and you'll be overloaded with all the amazing things you could be doing. In fact, you probably got this grindset mentality not from people in your neighborhood or the people who've been stuck in your town for generations, but rather other people online. Over half of Americans spend more than 50% of their time online. And although we are more connected than ever digitally, we still feel alone.
Here's one thing you need to do before...
Hit me with an ad, why don't you, bro?
34% of Americans expect to spend more time by themselves, with 37% saying they don't interact with anyone at least once a week. Now, most of us are alone because most of us don't really have a third place. Think of your home as your first place where you spend, you know, most of your time, and then work or school as your second place. Where is your third place? A home away from home, where people feel comfortable and at ease. A place where you can pop in and out with little or no money. Coffee shops, barbershops, pubs, plazas, recreational spaces, YMCAs, parks, record shops, skate parks, hangout spots where we would bump into acquaintances, interact with strangers and build a sense of community. A place where maybe you could listen to music or discuss music or argue about music with people. Now, there is one glaringly obvious third place for music people: concerts. But in hip-hop, concerts are a mess. They suck. Hip-hop concerts are by far the worst live music experiences that there is. They are typically bad performers with a crowd full of people too cool to participate. And on top of that, the shows are insanely expensive. I spent $1,000 on a Drake concert ticket and saw people filming themselves to show their social media followers that they were at a Drake concert. Rappers lip-sync the words while the DJ just plays the MP3 file you can hear online. They might ad-lib a few times and jump around. So little by little, people are not going to as many rap concerts because it's just a big waste of time and money. To no surprise, rappers who are great live performers have more longevity in the genre, because that in-person real experience will last so much longer and mean so much more than any digital experience. Right. We are using our phones as our third place. Some of you, Kai Cenat's bedroom on your screen is literally your third place. We can immerse ourselves into any subgenre, niche, forum, and interact with other digital versions of people. But as I stated before, oversaturation and money has made it impossible to figure out where on the internet is actually worth spending your time. Playboi Carti and his Opium label artists, as well as Yeet, are dominating right now because they built a community. The fans have basically a dress code of Rick Owens, dog chins, and trench coats to look like Dark Souls characters. Yeet has invented his own language that the fans have written a dictionary for. They even have their own handshake. And yeah, sure, you might think it's cringe, but it's actually kind of beautiful. These fans feel like they belong to something, and they do. But it's so much harder to create this sense of community on the internet than it used to be, which is another huge reason why hip-hop is dwindling. Whereas genres like country, who are underrepresented on social media, have a very uniform aesthetic combined with amazing live shows, are thriving. Now, I can almost guarantee there will be a top comment on this video that looks something like this. People have been saying rap is dying since the birth of rap. Mainstream rap has never been where the quality resides, and you know that. Now, this argument is right, but it's entirely missing the point. Yes, you could make an argument that the current state of hip-hop is better than it's ever been for individuals. If you want to do the hard work, you can discover hours and hours, thousands of high-quality songs to indulge in, and you don't really have to spend a fortune to do it, but you'll probably be alone because your friends and community are too busy to be full-time music enthusiasts, so they're just gonna keep listening to what's popular on Rap Caviar, on the radio. They won't know any of the songs that you like, and you'll either have to listen to oversaturated, repetitive, and mind-numbing mainstream rap music, or be alone with your great music. And what good is music if you can't enjoy it, discuss it, or even argue about it with others? We want everyone to like what we like, or maybe we genuinely want to like something to fit in because we want to belong.
W video Patrick. W video Patrick. W video Pat.